Welcome to Cape Henlopen High School for today's softball game between the second-ranked Vikings, undefeated at 11-0, and the Sussex Central Golden Knights with a record of 5-6. A Henlopen North matchup. Sure what the reasoning is, but they've had some issues the past few years at that school with athletic programs and getting the numbers.
They have, and that has happened in years past to their football program and to the softball in years past. So it is a shame, for the girls that are there, that are still there, that there's just not enough of. We hate to see that happen where they have to kind of fold up midseason. That is a shame.
All right, just about done with the introductions here at Cape Henlopen High School. Of course, head coach is Mike Tack in his third season. And There have been 9 different Henlopen Conference programs that have won a state championship. Cape Henlopen looking to do it for the first time, hopefully this year for them. All right, we're going to step aside for the national anthem.
Looking to stay cool this summer?
At Barclay Heating and Air, we're dedicated to keeping your home comfortable year-round.
Family owned and operated, we provide trusted residential heating and cooling services to customers across central Delaware. Our experienced technicians offer reliable maintenance and repairs on all major brand HVAC systems. From air conditioners and ductless systems to heat pumps and furnaces, we also sell and install top quality units. No matter your needs, we're committed to getting the job done right with honest and timely service you can count on. Invested in our community, we're proud to help families in more ways than one, sponsoring and donating to many local programs and organizations throughout the area for dependable HVAC services. Give us a shout or a bark at Barclay Heating and Air.
Back here at Cape Henlopen High School, Vikings already out in the field defensively. Let's set up the Cape Henlopen defense. In the circle, Abby Marsh behind the plate, Olivia Heers. Around the infield, Hayden Hudson at first. Milena Bueller at second, Ava Calciano at short, and Jordan Bowe mans third base. In the outfield and left, Brianna Windish. In center field, Olivia Mikulski, and in right field, Olivia Long. And here's the Sussex Central batting order. Leading off, the third baseman Myers, followed by the shortstop Lutz, the third baseman Kruger. Batting cleanup at second base Brock, then center fielder Jackson, right fielder Eikenberry, the pitcher Hall, left fielder Savage, and the catcher Baker. As the wind picks up, but we're used to wind, aren't we, Shannon? We're like battle-tested after being at Goldie Beacon with some sustained 20-mile-per-hour winds on Sunday and gust over 40.
And that's certainly nothing new here at Cape Henlopen either. But as we were talking about the schedule and how these teams have fared so far, looking at Cape Henlopen, you know, as an 11-0 record coming into today, I do believe some of their toughest competition is yet to come. They're facing the Golden Knights of Sussex Central today. As you said, they lost to Stephen Decatur, Apo, Delmar, Polytech. Really good programs so far this year. But Cape has yet to face Caravel, who's 9-1, Smyrna 6-5, but their losses are to Central, Delmar, Polytech, Mardella, and Bow Manor, and they have yet to face Polytech, who's 8-2, with a loss to to Sussex Academy and to Lake Forest. So I think some of their toughest competition is yet to come, and that starts today here with the Sussex Central Golden Knights.
Yeah, Cape Henlopen's probably their quality wins are over Stephen Decatur by a 6-3 count and Sussex Academy by 7-0. Earlier in the year, they were behind 9-0 to Conrad, came from behind to win 12-10, and Coach Tack says his seniors got everybody together. They pulled together and came from behind to win that game, and they host Caravel this coming weekend, May 3rd. All right, first pitch of the game is high for a ball. We're underway. That's Myers, the third baseman. Lauren Myers for head coach John Wells.
Senior captain for this Golden Knight team.
They played extremely well against Lake Forest on Thursday. There's a called strike. Evens the count of 1-1. So mostly sunny here today in Lewis, but double-digit winds, about 15 miles per hour, blowing kind of in from right field. There's a line drive up the middle. That's going to fall in for a hit. Myers on, that brings up the shortstop Lutz. And we talked to head coach John Wells in the parking lot at Lake Forest after the game, and he said, you know, I got a young team, but I'm pretty proud of how we're coming along. We just want to try to be good enough to get into the tournament, and then who knows, we can surprise somebody.
Absolutely. And, you know, Addie Lutz here is just a freshman. She steps into the box. She's been holding down the shortstop position for him this year, doing an absolute great job. She's a phenomenal athlete. And I think there's just good things to come. You know, it's hard. I joked with him. Obviously, we just said that this Cape team, you know, I had these girls when they were freshmen and now they're seniors, and what a difference that makes. And I think he's kind of in the same spot we were when these kids were freshmen, right? They just need some time to grow and mature and get some experience and get into things. So, you know, certainly under Coach Wells, he knows what he's doing, and he will prep them in any way possible.
Lutz ahead in the count. 2 balls, no strikes. And that missed a little bit outside, so a 3-0 count on Lutz. Kruger on deck. Myers, who led off with a line drive up the middle, over at first base. 3-0 pitch from Marsh. Called strike. She tries to battle back in the count here. As we mentioned at the top of the broadcast, Cape Henlopen has not defeated a Sussex Central team since 2019. And Shannon, you might know a little bit about that game. It was high scoring.
It was high scoring. A lot of hits in that game.
14-13.
14-13, but we were able to come out on top. And anytime you can defeat a John Wells coach team, that's something to be proud of. I will hang my hat on that.
So Lutz walks, first and second, to start off the ball game. Here's Kruger, the third baseman. That one in the dirt for a ball. So Abby Marsh struggling just a little bit here to start off.
Kruger, a workhorse for this Sussex Central team.
There's a called strike. Count is 1-1.
We see her make some great plays defensively.
And that just missed, so a 2-1 count on Kruger. One thing we noticed in the game for Sussex Central against Lake Forest, they were very patient at the plate.
They have great discipline. They
Ground
know
ball
the
left
strike
side.
zone.
Oh, a diving catch by Bo. I don't know whether she got there in time.
And
she did not.
She's called safe.
Bo with a diving catch to rob the hit, and then she tried to crawl to dive to the bag but couldn't get there in time. Beating that out was Myers, and the bases are loaded. Well, that's actually Lutz. Lutz is at third base. Well, I think Coach changed something after he gave us the lineup. Nevertheless, an infield hit for Kruger. And now the two umpires get together. Mike Tack wanted to make sure that that was the correct call at third base. So bases are juiced now for the second baseman, Brock. Nobody out here, top of the first. First pitch to Brock. Yeah, so what it appears Coach Wells has done is he switched Lutz and Myers after he gave us the lineup.
So Addie Lutz was the leadoff. She's now on third. Lauren Myers was the second batter who walked. She stands at second.
There's a called strike.
So a 1-1 count now to number 22, Ava Brock, the second baseman for Sussex Central.
So Lutz had the line drive single. That one's low, 2-1. And Myers drew the walk. Two-one pitch. And that miss counts 3-1. No place to put her. Hitter's pitch most likely coming up here for Brock. Golden Knights trying to take advantage here in the top of the first with the bases loaded, nobody out. Fouled back and over the dugout of the Golden Knights. Count runs full.
And that may have been ball 4. She went down there to get that, kind of down to her shoelaces. So Brock will have to battle here.
Up in the air, and that's fouled back and out of play as well. Abby Marsh trying to reach back, get a little something extra here.
Payoff pitch here for Marsh.
That's low. Ball 4. She walks in a run. That'll bring up Jackson, the center fielder. Still nobody out here.
Pretty uncharacteristic of Marsh as we see Olivia Hears go out to have a little conversation with her pitcher. See if she can calm her down, make some adjustments.
She now retreats back behind the plate. Home plate umpire gets some new balls from Coach Tack.
Still have bases loaded. No outs here for the center fielder, Emma Jackson.
She takes high and outside for a ball. Myers at third base. Swings and right through that pitch from Abby Marsh. 1-1 count. Eichenberry on deck, and one of the key batters in that close loss to Lake Forest.
Yeah, what a day Michaela Eichenberry had. Crucial hits, clutch hits, good timing, pressure situations. She was able to come through at Lake.
2-1 count. Here's the delivery from Marsh. That's high and outside, 3-1. A moment ago, I heard head coach John Wells for Sussex Central, of course, coaching third base as most head coaches do. Marking out signals, make sure it's through. And there's another bases loaded walk. 2 in a row. Still nobody out, and that brings up Eichenberry. So an RBI for Jackson. First pitch hit the backstop, came right back to catcher Olivia Hears. No chance for the runner to advance there.
No, and with the wood on the backstop here, it's fairly short back there anyway, and it will ricochet right back out, so they do have to be careful trying to take home.
There's a called strike. And Marsh is getting behind in too many counts here early in this ball game, and that's what's gotten her in a little bit of a pickle here. There's a called strike. Now she gets ahead to Eichenberry. It's a ball and 2 strikes. Almost got her to chase the low pitch. 2-2 count. Pitcher Tamara Hall is on deck.
That's going to be the DP Copes on deck.
There's a pass ball again, or a wild pitch. We'll call that a little high. But again, at this point, when you have bases loaded, nobody out, there's no real way you want to take a chance at trying to score from third on that. Ground ball, right back to Marsh. She'll go home. They get the force there, back to first, and a double play, and they needed that really bad. So Kruger is out at the plate. And then Eichenberry is out, catcher to first.
Advances Ava Brock to third, puts Emma Jackson at second with 2 outs. That brings the designated player, Copes, to the plate.
Two runners in scoring position. Marsh trying to get out of this here in the top half of the first inning. Misses high, ball 1. That time She got Copes to go for the high pitch. Swings and misses, ball and a strike.
We saw that from Copes against Lake Forest as well. She will chase high.
Marsh is ready. Right down the middle and a called third strike, and she gets out of it. Bases loaded, nobody out, and probably fortunate for them that they get out of that inning with just 2 runs, Shannon.
Absolutely agree. That could have been much, much worse, so credit to Marsh for kind of finding her rhythm there towards the end.
All right, bottom half of the first coming your way after this. Bottom of the first inning after Cape Henlopen allows 2 runs to the Golden Knights in the top of the first. So here's the defensive alignment for the Golden Knights. Tamara Hall in the circle, Elizabeth Baker behind the plate, Carly Kruger at first, Ava Brock at second, Adeline Lutz at short, and Lauren Myers at third base. Around the outfield, Avery Savage in left, Emma Jackson at center, and out in right field, Michaela Eikenberry. Leading off, we assume, unless they've changed up on us.
Let's hope
Should
not.
be Ava Calciano, the slapper. Having a heck of a year. Ava's batting .486. She leads the team with 13 stolen bases and with 23 runs scored, and that's what you want out of your leadoff batter.
Absolutely. She's got some career milestones here that Mike Tack provided us with. She's got 102 runs, 52 walks, 93 hits, 113 assists, 6 home runs. Headed to UConn next year.
Counts all even to Ava. A ball and a strike from Tamara Hall. That miss low. 2-1 count. That is Here's on deck. Hall checks the wristband for the pitch.
Cape's really got a lot of their power loaded up at the top of the order here. And that must have just missed outside.
3-1. And that missed for ball 4. So Calciano, a leadoff base runner. And Tamara Hall has really got to watch out here and make sure she delivers quality pitches, nothing in the dirt.
Well, it is their MO that she gets on and she steals within the first couple of pitches. So Here's will most likely take, and they will send her. So Baker behind the plate's got to be ready for for Calciano to take off.
So she hits it up in the air to center field. Coming in, making the catch is Emma Jackson for out number 1. Here's it come in with a .485 batting average with 4 home runs and 24 RBI. That brings up Hayden Hudson, the first baseman, multi-sport athlete here at Cape Henlopen. Hudson leads the team with 21 hits. She also has 4 home runs and a .512 batting average, which is tops on the team. There goes Calciano, throw down, not in time. She slides in head first. She's at second with 1 out.
Another reason why she's in that leadoff slot. She's got the speed to go ahead and take off and steal bases, which puts her 60 feet closer to scoring.
Ball, no strikes on Hudson. There's a shot left center that will score Cassiano. Cape on the board now, cut that lead in half. It's 2-1 on the RBI single by Hayden Hudson. That brings up the pitcher. Abby Marsh comes in with a .417 batting average, 15 hits on the season. Called strike at the bottom of the zone.
Like we said, Marsh has committed to go to Del Tech over in Georgetown, get a major in marketing. And I think her big desire is to play shortstop from what I understand over there. Don't know that she'll pitch a whole lot from my understanding.
She's in the hole here, 0-2. With Hudson at first. Takes high for a ball. 1-2 count on Marsh. On deck is Bo. That's fouled straight back and out of play. Count holds the ball and 2 strikes on Abby Marsh.
Hudson still the base runner at first. Jordan Bowe on deck.
Oh, a changeup, and she just barely got a piece of that. Got a lot going on here today, Cape Henlopen High. Got a track and field event, which we can hear the PA announcer in the background. I think they also have there's a baseball game going on as that one's fouled straight back.
Marsh having a quality at-bat here. Going to see her 7th pitch of the at-bat after going 0-2 right away.
Tamara Hall ready in the circle. Got her swinging. 2 outs, and that brings up Bo.
And that's a big out for Hall. Marsh has the power to drive a ball, so that's a big out for the freshman in the circle.
Bree Windish is on deck. Bo goes down, tries to get one at the bottom of the zone, swings and misses.
Bo, just a freshman here at Cape, taking over the third base duties as Hears moves from third base to the catching position this year after Jalen Slater graduated. She's up at Del State playing now, from what I understand.
That pitch missed down low, a ball and a strike to Bo. Played off that pitch, belt high, must have been a little outside. 2 balls and a strike. And that's high and out of the zone. So Bo ahead in the count 3-1 here. As I said, Windish is on deck. Bo has a home run this year. .378 average. She's walked 13 times. She swings and just got a piece of that. Well, right into the catcher's glove. So the count runs full.
We hear Coach Tack calling out numbers to his first base runner, Hayden Hudson. Payoff pitch from Tamora Hall here.
Fouled it straight back. Hudson will retreat back to first base. Full count, 2 outs. She's going on the pitch now. Tamara Hall on the rubber, ready to go here. Swing and a miss, and she gets another strikeout to end the inning. Cape Henlopen gets on the board as the leadoff batter, Calciano, walks, steals, and is driven in by Hayden Hudson. It's 2-1 Sussex Central as we go to the second.
Welcome to Surf Bagel.
Surf Bagel has served the community in Delaware for over 20 years, providing fresh, hot bagels, breakfast sandwiches, lunch sandwiches, wraps, salads, local coffee and smoothies, and our iconic merch. Welcome to Surf Bagel. We're stoked to serve you.
Welcome to Surf Bagel.
Back here at Cape Henlopen High School, Glenn Fraser alongside Shannon Timmons. Linda Marvel on camera is a Benny Mitchell production. Pretty nice day here in Lewis. I never know what to wear, Shannon, when I come down here. I left home, and I've done this before. I've left home, it's in the 70s. You get down here and you're freezing, but not today.
Beautiful day here at Cape Henlopen High School. A little breezy, but all in all, not bad. Plenty of sunshine. Great day to be at a softball game.
Pretty decent crowd here as they are lined up down the baselines.
Well,
And a few people out here next to us.
I was going to say, this is always a big matchup. You know, Sussex Central and Cape's always been a big rivalry over the years. So it's nice to see a crowd out here to support both teams. Obviously, with Cape playing as well as they are, they're going to draw big crowds.
All right, leading off top of the second, the left fielder, Avery Savage. Another slap hitter for Coach John Wells. Abby Marsh got off to a little bit of a rough start in the first inning. A couple of walks hurt her.
Yeah, we'll see if she can find the zone and settle down a little bit here in the second. She leads off there with a called strike.
That'll help. She was missing a little high at the top of the zone. Just a few of the early batters in that top of the first. Ground ball, she goes down and golfs it foul. Marsh ahead in the count here to Savage, 0-2.
And for Marsh, really throwing a lot of screwballs and curveballs. She tends to, be that east-west pitcher that we see, stays on playing with the barrel. So to see her really high and out of the zone, obviously says she's struggling a little bit to locate those pitches.
Ground ball right down the line. Hudson knocks it down and just stands on the bag to get the out. Waiting for the first base umpire to finally make a call over there. Now the bottom of the order with the catcher, Elizabeth Baker. Unless she's in the flex position. Nope, it's Baker batting.
That would put pitcher Tamora Hall in the flex position.
Now we have confirmation.
We have the full lineup now, finally.
Baker in the hole, 0-1 as he swings at the first offering. Called strike. Marsh dealing here in the second. Got her to go for an outside high pitch. Makes quick work of the first two batters here in the top of the second. Now that brings up Lutz, the shortstop, who drew the walk, or actually got a single and scored last inning.
Yeah, she had that little humpback line drive into center field. Ended up scoring in the first inning.
Takes a called strike.
I would say Marsh has found her groove.
Yep.
Here in the second inning. And sometimes you just don't know if they're not warmed up all the way or just trying to figure out the strike zone, see what people will chase.
Line drive just going to go foul right down in front of us, left field line. So Abby Marsh apparently making some adjustments as she's gotten ahead in the account here to both batters. She has not thrown a ball yet in this inning.
And I would say that's more typical of what we've seen out of her so far this season. So sometimes, you just have a rough start or a bad inning. We've seen that out of a lot of pitchers so far this year. The ups and the downs as the innings go, and Can they come back and make adjustments?
All right, that's the kibosh from the broadcaster. There's her first ball of the inning, 1-2 count. Her ERA coming in, .053, only allowing a half a run a game.
Well, and she has a heck of a defense playing behind her, too, so that certainly helps.
Pop up, foul territory, and that's going to get out of play.
That even if you have to pitch to contact against some of these better teams, you've got, a great defense behind you that'll play and work, and so the runs don't score.
Coming into the game, 73 strikeouts against just 13 walks.
And they've had 8 of their 11 games. They've been wins by run rule, so they have not had opponents score often.
No, she's thrown 4 shutouts, and then 4 times the opponent has scored just 1 run. Line shot. Oh, getting up in the air, making the catch is Calciano for the final out of the inning. Lutz has a good swing. With that time, Calciano showing some ups. And speaking of ups, that's the top of the second inning in the books. 1-2-3 inning for Abby Marsh. We go to the bottom of the second, 2-1 in favor of the Golden Knights. Getting ready for the bottom of the second inning here. Cape Henlopen, one of 3 undefeated teams left in softball in the state, and we have all 3 ranked 1, 2, 3 in our latest rankings. It just came out today. Lake Forest undefeated at 11-0, ranked number 1. Cape Henlopen 11-0, ranked number 2, and 10-0 Appoquinimink undefeated and ranked 3rd. And Caravel on the move. We had them preseason number 1. We dropped them down after the loss to DMA, but they're 9-1 now. And we have them ranked number 4.
That's another team that's much like this Sussex Central team. Very, very young. He's got some 8th graders in the starting lineup there at Caravel, so they're trying to figure some things out as they go as well.
All right, leading off, Brianna Windish. Bree Windish takes the ball low.
Windish committed to play at East Stroudsburg.
She's got a couple of home runs this year. 4 triples, batting .455. She takes that one low. After Windish, we have Olivia Mikulski.
And typical of Hall, when she misses, she tends to miss low in the dirt.
There's a called strike.
So again, I don't know if she's trying to locate just a low fastball or trying to get a drop ball in there, but it does tend to be low and in the dirt, out of the zone.
All ready to go with a 1-2. Excuse me, the 2-1 pitch. Now it's 3-1. That one missed low.
Windish has some speed too. If she gets on, she's always a threat to steal.
Nice to have that balance of power and speed. Late on that pitch. And now a full count.
And I said this when we watched Central at Lake, I love the composure that Hall has in the circle and how she can fall behind and just keeps working. Here's her payoff pitch to Windish.
Line shot, that's out in the center with 1 hop in front of Emma Jackson for a base hit. Second hit of the game for Cape Henlopen, and once again they have the leadoff runner on. Nice at bat there, drew a full count and a nice line shot.
You can hear Mike Tack shouting out numbers already, so with Mikulski being left-handed, we'll see if she doesn't square to bunt. Even to fake it to see if Windish will take off. test the arm of Baker behind the plate.
Offered a bunt, pulled it back, but it's a called strike. Melina Bueller is on deck. Cape Henlopen got the leadoff runner on first last inning. In Calciana, she came around and scored. That pitch is low. One count. Playing rather shallow for her. Batter, there's a foul ball straight back. Ball and 2 strikes on Mikulski. Olivia comes in with a .500 batting average. She's scored 6 runs, but she's only played in 8 games. Defensive swing there. Fouled the ball away.
Yeah, trying to get the barrel up to that high pitch and do something with it.
Ideally, she'd like to get something on the left side and move that runner over. And with her speed, try to beat it out. Third base playing up. There goes the runner, high throw, and she slides in safely. Windish down at second base now, and a 2-2 count on Mikulski. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss at the top of the zone. That brings up Elena Bueller. Bueller comes in with a .400 average, 12 hits, and has scored 13 runs. Takes a first pitch right down the middle. Hall only a freshman, but we've seen her progress as the season has gone along. Pitched extremely well against Lake Forest last Thursday.
Yeah, she's mixing pitches really well. Oh, and he's going to say she went on that check swing.
Mm-hmm.
She's mixing pitches really well. She's, you know, just learned to work a count. She falls behind sometimes, but she just keeps battling. And again, Glenn, the composure, like you can never tell. There's always, you know, we have that saying in softball, like have that can't tell mentality. You can't tell if she's winning. You can't tell if she's losing. You can't tell if she's ahead in the count. You can't tell if she's behind in the count. So important for pitchers to be able to keep their composure. And for her to do that as a freshman is just really speaks volumes for her. Just who she is as a person and as a pitcher, and how she'll learn to go and progress through her 4 years.
Windish at second base. There's a high pitch, a ball and 2 strikes. To Melina Bueller. Should be the bottom of the order. Longo on deck. Laid off the pitch at the top of the zone, and it is Longo on deck. So now a 2-2 count on Bueller.
Hill's set to deliver.
That's just a little tight. So good job being in the hole 0-2 and battling back to a full count.
Quality at bat, whichever side you want to look at it, where Hall falls behind or Bueller works the count. So quality at bat by Bueller. Payoff pitch here from Hall.
Swing and a miss. Another strikeout for Tamara Hall. 2 in a row here. And that'll bring up Longo, the right fielder. Another slapper.
And credit to Hall, just a nice curveball.
Longo comes in batting .250 in the season. 11 walks she's drawn this year. She'd love nothing better than to get number 12 and set the table for Calciano.
And it'll be lefty-lefty if that's the case.
Called strike.
And sometimes pitchers have a hard time when they see a lot of right-handed hitters and then these lefties step in there. It just throws them off a little bit, but first pitch was dealt well for a called strike.
Ground ball tapped out in front of the plate. No play. No play there. Longo just too fast going down to first. They didn't want to risk the throw with Windish going to third. So now runners on the corners for Calciano, who walked and scored the only run for Cape last inning.
And that's just kind of fortunate placement, right, where that ball, she swings away, but she just nips it, and it just stays right there.
Yeah,
and they are going to intentionally walk Calciano.
Well, that gives him a force out at any base. And the batter, the catcher, hears. She flied out to center field. Last inning. Now she has the bases loaded here and an opportunity to put Cape on top. Takes the first pitch for a strike.
Interesting choice by Coach Wells to not let Calciano, hurt you in that position, to play odds and go after here's.
Popped up in the air infield right to the first baseman. And that will end the threat here in the bottom of the second. Still a 2-1 score. Lead belongs to Sussex Central. To the third inning we go after this.
For over 15 years, our company has been building homes in Sussex County, Delaware. We offer a completely comprehensive program for our customers that makes building a new home enjoyable. At Capstone Homes, we have access to lots in our amazing communities or through our realtor partners. Visit with our team of professionals for a completely comprehensive experience. We can handle absolutely every part of building a new home for you and your family. Create your new home. Create a Capstone home. For over 15
For Sussex Central, leading off here in the top of the third inning will be the third baseman, Laura Myers, who drew a walk and scored a run back in the first inning. As we have a 2-1 ball game, all the runs scored in the first inning, as both pitchers kind of made some adjustments and were a lot more efficient in the second inning.
Yeah, absolutely. And, a big out there for Sussex Central with Cape with the bases loaded there in the bottom of the second to retire here's after the intentional walk to Calciano. So things are settling down, pitchers are settling in, and I think we're in for a really good game here today.
So I mentioned Cape Henlopen will be tested again. Last year, they only lost 4 games all year, right? They lost twice to Sussex Central and twice to Caravel. And trying to exact a little revenge here today against the Golden Knights, and then they'll have the opportunity against the Buccaneers this weekend.
And they still have yet to see that team from Smyrna. And they are starting to figure things out up there as well. So, some of these younger teams are just going to take them a little bit longer to get things under control and figured out. And as we're seeing the season progress, they're starting to kind of come into their own and grow into who they are as a team and in their respective positions and learning the coach's way of doing things. So it's going to make for an interesting run here towards the end of the season and as we think about postseason play. First pitch to Myers is high for a ball.
That's the second time through here if Marsh has made some adjustments, as she does go 2-0 on Myers. Myers drew a 5-pitch walk in the first inning. There's a called strike right at the bottom of the zone. 2-1 count. Kruger on deck. Kruger had an RBI single in her at bat.
One count here to Myers.
I take it back. Kruger did have a single, but it was an infield hit that loaded the bases, and then on 2 consecutive bases loaded walks, those players got the RBI.
Correct.
And there's another walk to Myers.
And Cape does have a couple other girls who can pitch. Typically, it's been Abby Marsh, you know, with the long haul here during the season as the senior and kind of the ace in the circle. But Tegan Baker is a freshman who does a little bit of pitching. I've seen Sarah Craig's name pop up through an inning or two, I believe maybe to Conrad.
Kruger lays down a bunt. The sacrifice is successful. She's out at first, but that moves Myers up to second base.
So if Marsh really does get in any kind of trouble, there are a couple other arms that, you know, could potentially be, you know, put in the circle for Cape.
Here's Brock. Ava Brock, the second baseman. She drew a bases-loaded walk in the first inning, and she takes low for a ball. Ground ball right back to Marsh. She looks at the runner but decides to get the shore out at first. So Myers will move up to third, 2 outs in the inning, and that brings up Jackson.
Jackson also walked in her first at-bat on 6 pitches. Pivotal at-bat here for Jackson to see if she can score a run and give Central any insurance runs.
Takes low for a ball 1. Marsh trying to keep this a 1-run ball game here in the top of the third. Central on top 2-1. Swing and a miss. 1-1 count on Jackson. Outfield playing about middle depth. There's a called strike. Marsh ahead in the count here, a ball and 2 strikes.
Home plate umpire certainly does like the ball low in the zone today. They're not getting anything called high, but he will take that strike right at the bottom of the
Fly
zone.
ball coming in the right fielder. It holds up for and Olivia Longo with the put out to end the top of the third inning. To the bottom of the third we go. Still 2-1 Golden Knights. Getting ready for the bottom of the third inning here at Cape Henlopen High School. 2-1 lead for Sussex Central. All 3 runs for both teams scored in the first inning. And since then, the pitchers have settled in, got their rhythm down, and looking good here. That's Tamara Hall for Sussex Central, Abby Marsh for Cape Henlopen. And leading off here in the bottom of the third is Hayden Hudson, who got an RBI single in her at bat in the first inning.
Yeah, Hall's going to see the heart of this Henlopen order for the second time. She was able to get Abby Marsh and Jordan Bowe to strike out, but she's going to have her work cut out for her in this inning as they come up to see her for the second time and potentially make some adjustments.
Hudson with a line drive single in the first inning. And again, because of the wind here today, the outfielder playing in just a little more than they normally would. First pitch line drive, foul down the right field line.
Nice little change of speed to start off with from Hall to Hudson.
Hudson has one of the Vikings' 3 hits so far on the day. Ground ball right to the first baseman. Easy put out for Carly Kruger for out number 1.
That'll bring her counterpart, pitcher Abby Marsh, to the plate, who got in a hole 0-2 and then managed to fight off a few pitches before being struck out.
That's a good batting average, 417. Up in the air, foul, and out of play over the Golden Knight dugout.
And credit to Hall, she gets a nice spin on the ball, so even when they do fight things off, they're fouling them off, but that's a tribute to the spin that she puts on her pitches.
That one fouled straight back. So Marsh is in the hole 0-2. Bo on deck. Up in the air, right side, foul and out of play. Marsh staying alive.
Again, it's really important that hitters can just foul things off and stay alive in a count, hoping to get a better pitch or hoping that the pitcher makes a mistake and hangs something over the plate that they can get a barrel on and drive. It's going to be tough on a day like today. Both these pitchers, quality pitchers.
Down in the zone, just missed. Ball and 2 strikes on Marsh. Marsh has 15 hits on the year. And the Vikings 11 games. That missed low. Count even at 2-2. One out here in the bottom of the 3rd inning.
Marsh has a really good eye for the zone, so she's going to make Hall pitch to her.
Ground ball, short, up with it, across the diamond, out number 2. Nice pickup by the Lutz, over to Kruger. 2 gone here in the bottom of the 3rd. That brings up Bo. Jordan Bo playing third base today. Made a nice diving catch on a ground ball in the 1st inning defensively. However, she couldn't get to the bag quick enough to get the force out.
And she was trying everything she could, crawling to get there, but just couldn't get there in time.
Takes low for ball 1.
Important, though, that she stops that ball from coming out here to left field, so she did her job. You know, otherwise that run scores.
That missed at the top of the zone. 2-0 count on Bo. And as you said, we saw her in the Lake Forest game, she typically likes to hit the balls up in the zone. Swings through that pitch. Two 2-1 on Bo.
And Hall is just deceptive in her pitch, meaning her motion's very smooth. She doesn't try to really overthrow the ball. She spins it well.
That missed down low. 3 balls and a strike.
Bree Wynn just stands on deck. Had a single in her first at-bat if Bo were to reach.
And she takes a called strike, so it count goes full, 3-2, with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 3rd.
And because both pitchers are getting that strike called low in the zone, I know Hall's trying to keep the ball down, and every once in a while she just misses.
Ground ball right side. Oh, good stop by the second baseman, but she can't pick it up. It's a good stop over there by Ava Brock. She couldn't get the handle on it, so Bo's at first.
That's going to be the first error that we see today from either team.
We both agree. That brings up Windish. She just said she had a single and a stolen base last inning.
And ended up at third, but was stranded.
Takes inside for a ball.
We'll see if Central can stop the damage here with 2 outs.
There's a called strike. 1-1 count on Windish. And she ran the count full her last at bat before she had that base hit.
Yeah, and she was 0-2.
Ground ball, left side. Shortstop, across to first, and the throw's high. Bo's going to circle second and go to third. And then pulling up to second base is Bree Windish. There's your second error. That's a throwing error on the shortstop. And now that brings up
Olivia
McCluskey,
Mikulski.
who also singled. No, she didn't. She struck out. So after retiring the first 2 batters in this inning, a little meeting in the circle because a couple of defensive mistakes. Bo over at third, Windish at second. And Mikulski with a .500 batting average on the season.
I think you said she's appeared in, what, 6 or 7 games? 8 games?
Mm-hmm. Fouls it straight back. I forgot to ask Kotak if she sat out early in the year, and then he just made some changes as the season went on, so she's been playing more. But with a .500 average, I see why she's in the lineup.
Well, it gives another lefty option to the lineup, gives the slapping option. But she's way behind in Hall's speed here. Fouling everything off. Way foul.
Yeah, down in the count 0-2. Hall trying to get out of another jam. Cape trying to tie this thing or maybe go ahead. Ground ball, high chopper over the pitcher's head. Throw to first. Just in time for the out. Good speed, but good play defensively that time by the Golden Knights to get out of a jam here in the bottom of the third. We head to the 4th inning, still 2-1 Sussex Central.
Hi, I'm Scott Kammerer from Solo Concepts. Today we're at Matt's Fish Camp in Fenwick Island, Delaware. Come check us out. Matt's Fish Camp features seafood classics, coastal comfort food, and chef-driven specials that pair perfectly with our large selection of craft ales, curated wine list, and camp cocktails. Matt's offers indoor and outdoor dining and is the perfect place to have dinner with your family, happy hour with friends, or enjoy lunch at the Raw Bar. Matt's Fish Camp in Fenwick Island, Delaware, open 7 days a week year-round. See you soon. Hi, I'm Scott.
We played 3 innings here at Cape Henlopen High School, and we have the same score that we had at the end of 1 inning. 2-1 Sussex Central on top, as they had bases loaded, and Marsh walked 2 batters. That's how Sussex Central scored. Cape Henlopen got on the board with Cassiano a leadoff, getting on base, stole second, and then was driven home by Hayden Hudson. Line drive single, and that's where we stand, Shannon.
Yeah, I think Cape is certainly plating more batters per inning than Sussex Central, so, you know, we'll have to see if that comes into play at all and if anybody's able to break this thing open. But, you know, both teams have settled in here after that first inning where both teams were able to get on the board, and pitchers have settled down a little bit, tried to figure out the strike zone, and defense is playing well, so it's just a matter of time, I think.
All right, leading off, the right fielder, Eikenberry. That ball just missed.
I will say uncharacteristic of Marsh today to fall behind most of the hitters that she's pitching to.
And that missed, looked like a little inside. 2-0 count.
Last inning, she was behind all of the batters.
I think
So
Eikenberry was part of that double play back in the first inning.
Yeah, she's just struggling to find the zone. Now 3-0 here. to Eikenberry. We'll see if Coach Wells gives her the green light or not.
Right down the middle with
So,
Marsh's delivery.
Obviously not.
No. No, that was center cut. 3-1 count.
And good decision as much as Marsh has struggled today.
There's a called strike to get that count to full. On deck, the designated player. Oops. That missed. So another walk and a leadoff batter on again for the Golden Knights.
And fortunate for Cape Henlopen that the only time that's really hurt them is in the first inning. You know, typically we always say in softball, you know, the walks tend to hurt you. They always seem to somehow or another find a way around, and they always score. And leadoff hitters getting on, they tend to score. And it looks like we are going to have a pinch runner here for Michaela Eikenberry. As soon as we get that jersey number, we'll let you know who that is.
Looks like number 13.
Hadley Schwartz.
Yep. And at the plate, Copes, who was called out looking in her only at bat, swings through the first pitch.
Copes is just going to have some discipline here for the strike zone, as tough of a day as Abby Marsh has had from the circle.
And a 5th walk issued by her, and coming in only 13 walks all season.
Right. That ball's high and out for ball number 1 to even the count.
Schwartz, the pinch runner at first. Nobody out here in the top of the 4th. Copes fouls that one straight back. She's in the hole now, a ball and 2 strikes.
Obviously, you know, you're looking for your designated player to be one of your hitters in your lineup. That's why they're in there. You're basically using that DP flex. So you get a player in the field, but somebody at the plate who might be a little better hitter, as Hears chases that, but it'll be out of play.
Holds the count at a ball and 2 strikes on Copes. Marsh has the bottom of the order here to try to get out without giving up any more runs. Runs have been at a premium today in this game.
And after seeing Central play Lake, we kind of knew if they came in and played that way that it would be a tight ball game here.
Fly ball to center, put away by Mikulski for out number 1. That brings up Savage, the left fielder. Savage grounded right to first baseman Hudson in her only at bat. Schwartz, the runner at first with 1 out here, top of the 4th. Slap hitter fouls it straight back. Baker on deck, and then the top. No, whether we've seen this many combined 2 teams, left-handed batters than we have here today.
I was actually just thinking the same thing, Glenn. Lefties have been in short supply this season, and these 2 teams have the most that we've seen.
No doubt.
And that's a little unusual in softball these days.
1-1 count. Slapper fouls that one straight back. So a ball and 2 strikes on Savage. With 1 out here, top of the 4th.
Marsh doing a good job just jamming her up there, making it hard for her to get to it, putting it in on her hands. Lefty slappers hate that. They're looking for that pitch on the outside so they can drive it here to left field or through that 5-6 hole.
Fouled back again. Savage seeing some pitches here this at bat. A ball and 2 strikes, a couple of foul balls.
Again, Savage just waiting for something that she can pop into play.
Almost swung at that pitch. It was in tight and high. Held back, 2-2 count. Called third strike, though, down to second, just a little off line. Don't think they would have got Schwartz the runner anyhow, as she was off and flying. So she's now at second with 2 outs. It brings up the bottom of the order and the catcher Baker.
Baker, a strikeout victim on 3 straight pitches from Marsh in the top of the second. See if she can't make some adjustments here.
That missed low for a ball. It's a big batter in the lineup here for Abby Marsh and Cape Henlopen. You don't want to get to the top of the order here. Swing and a miss, big cut. Ball and a strike on Baker, who struck out swinging in her only at bat in the second inning.
Yeah, and when some of these batters are swinging through these pitches, they're just leaving their head out on the pitcher. They're not tracking the ball all the way in. You can see Coach Wells talking to them about keeping their head in. He points to his eyes, put them down on the bat, so coaching them along through their at-bat.
2-1 count. Swing and a miss. Evens the count at 2-2. You know what I'm going to say. Deuces are wild. 2-2 count, 2 outs.
It wouldn't be a game if you didn't, Glenn.
2-1 score. Popped it up and out of play over the Golden Knight dugout. And now Coach Wells still giving some batting instructions. Keep the swing level, the head level.
He wants Schwartz over there to get a big jump. There's 2 outs. She's moving on contact.
That missed, so the count runs full.
This will be the 7th pitch of her at-bat, so actually great at-bat here by Elizabeth Baker for the Golden Knights.
She missed.
She's going to draw a walk.
Yep, throw down to third base. So runners on the corners now for the top of the order. 2 outs here at the top of the 4th. That's the 6th walk given up by Marsh today. That's like half of her number for the season coming in.
Right. She had 13 up until today and then 6 today. Lutz is coming to the plate, and I'm wondering if we're not going to have another runner here as Coach Wells is talking to the umpire. Lutz hit that hard line drive that Calciano went up to get in the top of the 2nd. We are going to have a runner for Elizabeth Baker.
Number 1.
So she's the catcher, so I'm guessing this will be just a courtesy runner.
Yeah, Taylor White, the freshman, is in to run. So now we have 2 runners on base, designated runners. Schwartz at third, White at first. Will she take off on the first pitch? Delayed, and she goes. So now second and third with 2 outs here for Lutz.
And I don't. Coach Wells hopping around. I think he thinks she should have gotten in there on that one. And on those wild pitches, pass balls, whatever you want to call them, Sussex Central certainly had their chances to plate about 3 or 4 more runs on those, and they have been very conservative in those situations. They could have plated several more runs on that.
Lutz has singled and walked in 2 at-bats. Takes high. And she's ahead in the count 2-0. I think Marsh really needs something in the zone here. She did, and Lutz offered.
It's a big swing.
That was a home run swing. 2 balls and a strike on Lutz. Schwartz at third, White at second. Ground ball right to the shortstop. Plays it on a hop over to first. They're out of a jam here in the top of the 4th, as the Golden Knights will leave 2 on in the inning. Bottom of the 4th we go. Still Sussex Central 2, Cape Henlopen 1. Halfway through this ball game already, headed to the bottom of the fourth inning. And it's been scoreless since the first. Cape Henlopen will have the bottom two in the order here in the fourth inning. It'll be Bueller, Longo, and then the top in Calciano. Important that they can get at least one of those two runners on for Calciano.
And both teams have had scoring opportunities, Glenn. They've had base runners on. They've both left, a lot of runners on so far today. And Sussex Central probably has had the most opportunity with runners at third on some of those, pitches that have gotten away from Hears or wild pitches from Abby Marsh, and they haven't taken, advantage of that. So, you'll wonder at the end of today whether that becomes a factor or not. And that just remains to be seen. But both teams have had scoring opportunities and haven't been able to convert. So here we sit at a 2-1 ball game, and all of those runs came in the first inning.
And if anybody would tell you this is a typical softball game, 2-1. First pitch to Bueller. Must have just missed. It looked belt high, so it must have been in or out or off the plate. She struck out in her only at bat in the second inning. There's a called strike, evens the count at 1-1.
Hall does a good job of locating that pitch low in the zone. Just isn't consistent enough with it.
Swing at a pitch up just a little bit, found it straight back. So a ball and 2 strikes.
It's a good job there, changing the eyesight of the batter. Working low to high.
Bueller trying to put something in play here. Pops that one up. Foul out of play down the first base side. Hall ahead in the count here, a ball and 2 strikes. Cape crowd kind of quiet here today. Haven't had a whole lot to cheer for. Strike 3, called strike right down the middle, appeared from here. First out here in the bottom of the fourth.
Brings right fielder Olivia Longo to the plate. Another one of those lefties we talked about. Calciano on deck.
Longo singled in her only at bat today. Was stranded at second base. Takes a called strike. Longo has drawn 11 walks on the season. That's 1 per game. Takes a called strike. She's in the hole, 0-2. Calciano on deck.
I feel like as we look around campus today, this is much like when we do a game at Caraville. Baseball game going on, track meet going on, softball game going on. We got little kids soccer. We got a lacrosse game. We got all kinds of stuff going on here.
Every field has something going on. That one taken for a ball.
It is a busy place today.
Yeah, it does seem like being up at Caraville. Speaking of Caraville, they'll be down here Saturday to take on Cape Henlopen. Called, third strike. 2 in a row for Tamora Hall, and that brings up Calciano, who has walked both at bats.
Yeah, they intentionally put her on to load the bases in the second inning to go ahead and go at Hears. And with the bases loaded, they were able to get her to pop up to the first baseman. So that intentional walk paid off for Coach Wells and the Golden Knights. But right now, Calciota going to look to just get on and get something started for her team with 2 outs.
Takes a called strike here.
Change
Off speed, right to the shortstop. And a 1-2-3 inning for Tamara Hall and Sussex Central. We are through 4. It's still 2-1 Golden Knights.
First State Orthopedics has 46 physicians and 22 physician's assistants at 16 locations across the state of Delaware. We provide both surgical and non-surgical treatment for a variety of orthopedic conditions, are specially trained in current state-of-the-art techniques. We serve as team physicians for over 20 high schools, Wilmington University, and many local recreational and competitive leagues. Our doctors are readily available to all local emergency departments, medical aid units, and urgent care centers for consultation and treatment. Give us a call today at 302-731-2888 or visit us online at firststateortho.com.
Glenn Fraser alongside Shannon Timmons as we're during the break talking about the Muppets. We just run the gamut here on 302 Sports. Benny Mitchell producing, and on the camera, Linda Marvel. You're on a pretty darn nice day at Cape Henlopen High School for a softball game. We've got a pitcher's duel going, 2-1 ball game. All the runs scored in the first inning, and nobody's been able to play to run since.
No, and Tamara Hall just getting stronger as she goes. We just said that was her first 1-2-3 inning. And a beautiful change up there that she threw to Calciano to get her just to pop up to the shortstop. So, you know, as she's going to get stronger as she going, Marsh is getting stronger as she's going today, which is going to bring it down to a pitcher's duel. And rightfully so. You know, that's the beautiful part about playing Henlopen Conference softball, and particularly sitting in the Northern Division. You expect games like this to be close and to be, you know, 2-1 or 1-0 games. And these games are fun to play in. They're fun to coach in. And it always comes down to the wire as who's going to be the winner of a game like this, and it's exciting softball.
Lauren Myers leads it off here. She has walked both at bats, scored a run, and was stranded at third, and she fouled the first pitch out of play. She'll be followed by Kruger and Brock here in the top of the 5th. Count even up now, a ball and a strike.
Myers, one of the senior captains for the Golden Knights, and admittedly, you know, not having quite the season that she had last year, and is trying to just keep battling and work out of that and make progress throughout the season and do things at the right time for her team.
As the wind picks up here, you can probably hear it whistling through our microphone. 2-1 pitch, a called strike. Marsh battling back here to even the count.
Wouldn't be a game at Cape Henlopen if it wasn't windy, and I don't care what sport you're here for.
Here's the 2-2 pitch. Line shot right to center field. I'll tell you what, Mikulski didn't have to move too far to get put out number 1, and that brings up third baseman Kruger.
Yeah, the line drives that Central's been able to put in play out to center have been just right to her. They're making great contact, but just driving them right at the center fielder, Mikulski.
Kruger is 1 for 1. She singled, was stranded at second, and she also laid down a nice sacrifice.
Pitches in high for ball 1. Of course, Carly's sister, Kylie, spent 4 years at Sussex Tech playing and had a great career at Del Tech. I think she's on the coaching staff there now, so see what little sister Carly can get started here.
Called strike, 2-1 count. Brock is on deck. Must have just missed. The count runs now 3-1. And another walk. I think that's walk number 7 now issued today by Marsh.
And as Marsh is going to go to Del Tech, we'll talk about another couple of Cape players. Carlin Quinn was a shortstop here, went over to Del Tech, and she's now coaching the Cape Henlopen program. And Kanaya James went to Del Tech from here, and she's now the JV coach here at Cape Henlopen. So it's awesome to see those players that have played in this program come back and start coaching in the program and giving back to the program. So kudos to those girls for jumping into coaching and helping out, developing talent.
Brock takes high for ball 1. Kruger, a 1-out base runner over at first. Brock walked with the bases loaded in the first and then grounded out to the pitcher. Just missed. 2-0 count.
And the Del Tech connection runs deep. Allison Sullivan is the assistant coach here at Cape Henlopen. She's also a Del Tech grad.
That misses down low, so a 3-0 count.
It's like 6 degrees of separation.
What was that, the Kevin Bacon rule?
Yeah. Rich softball history here in Sussex County.
4-pitch walk. 2 consecutive walks. 8 walks issued today by Marsh, uncharacteristically of her.
Yeah, really surprising for Marsh to struggle this much with finding the zone.
Brings up the center fielder, Jackson. She walked today and flied out to right. Takes a called strike. That's one thing I noticed about Abby today. In all these walks, she's been unable to get ahead in the count. Well, she gets ahead in this one.
Yeah, she's fallen behind hitters consistently today and has, I think, thrown more what I would call wild pitches, you know, just out of control where hitters really can't get to them.
He just got a piece of that one to stay alive, Jackson did. Still an 0-2 count. 1 out, runners at first and second. We're in the top of the 5th.
And she's got some of these central hitters guessing because they are swinging at some pitches that are nowhere near the zone.
Swing and a miss. She needed that for out number 2. And that brings up the right fielder, Eikenberry. 1 for 1 today. She walked in her last at bat.
Her pinch runner, Schwartz, made her way to third, but was stranded in the last inning. Runners will be moving on contact here with 2 outs.
She falls behind Eikenberry. Showed bunt, pulled it back, called strike. One count on Eikenberry. Kruger at second, Brock at first. They both walked. Called strike. Now she's ahead in the count here, a 1-2.
And you see Coach Wells just put his hands on his head. A little bit of frustration from him there.
Ground ball kind of cued, foul down the first base side. Right off the end of the bat.
Again, both teams have had runners on and in scoring position and have had opportunities to plate some extra runs and have not been able to do so. I think both coaches know that 1 run won't be enough necessarily.
Good change up there. Must have just missed.
They both would like some insurance runs.
2-2 count on Eikenberry. Ground ball right through the box, right to the shortstop. Cassiano over to first, and once again, Marsh works out of a jam. No score here in the top of the fifth for the Golden Knights, but they'll take a 2-1 lead to the bottom half after this. Hold on. 1, 2. Holding on to my paperwork here as we head to the bottom of the fifth inning. Good thing for clipboards. And now dies down just a bit. Head to the bottom of the fifth, meat of the order coming up for Cape Henlopen. It'll be Here's, Hudson, and Marsh. Trying to get something going here for the Vikings against Tamora Hall, who's pitched one heck of a ball game.
And seems to be getting stronger as she goes, making some adjustments, lessening the amount of hitters she's seeing each inning, which is, you know, what you would want to see after plating 6 or 7 in the first inning.
First pitch to Here's misses for a ball. Here's 0 for 2, flied out to center, popped up to first base. Called strike on the inside part of the plate, 1-1 count. And with her power, the outfield for the Golden Knights respecting Here's a little bit here. No pun intended. Swing and a miss. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Here's.
Hall with 6 strikeouts on the day today.
Now we've got a timeout by the home plate umpire.
Which is impressive considering the batting averages and the lineup that Cape puts up every day.
Fly ball deep, right center field. That might get out of here, and it does. There's a home run to tie the game from Olivia Here's. And into this win, that was an impressive shot. Bottom of the fifth here, leadoff solo shot by Here's. That's her 5th home run of the year. That now leads the team. And here comes Hayden Hudson, the first baseman, 1 for 2 today.
So we'll have to see Hall regroup here. Hudson with power as well.
Yeah, Hayden has 4 home runs coming in as well. Good basketball player. She takes a called strike. Called a couple of her basketball games. Grounds out right to the first baseman.
She's down to 3 college choices according to Coach Tack this morning when I talked to him. George Washington, Catholic, and Lehigh.
Hudson, the first out of the inning, that brings up the pitcher Marsh, who is 0 for 2, struck out and grounded out to short. Pops that one up and out of play. Fly ball out to right field, and that's played out there by Eikenberry for out number 2. 2 outs, that brings up Bo, our designated player.
And credit to both defenses so far today, Glenn. Both, teams playing very, very well behind their pitchers. When balls are put in play, very solid defense.
I think the only errors in the game were back-to-back by
say,
Golden Knights.
Yep, the error at second base trying to field the ball, and then the throwing error.
And Bo was the recipient of one of those errors the last time she was up. She was stranded at third base in that inning. Ground ball, right side, right to the second baseman. Will flip over to first. And 1-2-3 after the solo home run. We're all tied at 2, headed to the 6th inning here on 302 Sports.
Welcome to Premier Physical Therapy and Sports Performance. We're a locally owned outpatient physical therapy practice with convenient locations in all 3 counties in Delaware. At Premier, we have experienced physical therapists with advanced credentials, but their hospitality, passion, and enthusiasm is what makes the difference for you. Find our convenient locations at premierptsp.com.
You may have tried physical therapy,
but have you tried Premier?
We'll have the bottom of the order coming up here in the top of the 6th for the Sussex Central Golden Knights, as we are now tied up at 2-2 after the monster home run by Heers to right center field to lead off the bottom of the 5th for Cape Henlopen. Monster shot into the teeth of the wind.
Yep, and again, that's just proof of the power that some of these Cape hitters have, and you have to certainly be careful pitching to them. It was interesting that John Wells decided to intentionally walk Calciano to load the bases to pitch to Heers, right? He did get her to pop up to first base in that instance, but look what could have happened, right? So that potential is always there, and that's the chance you take, and it paid off for him the first time, but she goes ahead and jacks that deep ball to right center field, clears the fence, tie the game.
All right, let's see if Abby Marsh can get a shutdown inning here in the top of the 6th after her team tied it up in the top half, or the bottom half of the 5th.
Well, and that certainly has to make her feel better that it's at least back to tied and she's not pitching from behind. She's got to go after Copes, the DP, Savage, and Baker in this inning.
Yeah, here's Nakira Copes, who's flied to center and struck out looking. And she's pretty much got ahead of her both at bats. Does not do so here. Yeah, I was trying to count up the walks by Tamira Hall. I think she's only walked 2, maybe 3 in the ball game.
Yeah, it has 6 strikeouts. Marsh with 4 strikeouts and 8 walks.
That pitch is high, ball 2.
Again, I say, it's sometimes usually, I would say usually, not even sometimes, usually the walks find a way to score. So Cape's very fortunate today with the 8 walks that, it's a tie ball game at this point.
Fly ball right towards Benny Mitchell. Just a little bit out of his reach. Just a long strike. Two 2-1 count to Copes with Savage on deck. Copes took a breather there, now back in the box. 2-1 delivery from Abby Marsh. Swings at a low pitch. Helped the pitcher out there, count even at 2-2.
Just the off-speed changeup, which is smart by Marsh and Heers. I believe Heers is calling the game today. Smart after she yanks that pitch foul and was way ahead of that pitch from Marsh. So smart to call the changeup. The little leaguers behind us decided to throw that ball back in.
Yeah, and Bree Windish is like, what? Out here in left field.
So a 2-2 count to Copes now.
Marsh gets the call. High in the zone. She didn't go for it. Full count on Copes.
Payoff pitch here from Marsh.
Right at the bottom of the zone, but it just missed. So another walk issued and another leadoff batter on. I think this is the 5th out of 6 innings that the leadoff batter's been on for Sussex Central.
And I would suspect we're going to see a pinch runner here for Copes. Wells goes to the home plate umpire.
Savage will be the batter. She grounded out to first and struck out looking.
We can get a number on this. We'll let you know who that pinch runner is going
Yeah,
to
right
be.
now she's holding her hands over her number. I think it's number 7. Yes.
Ariana Gibbs.
They show bunt. Good bunt down the first base line. Marsh gets it, throws to first. They get the out over there. Good stretch by Hudson over at first base. Sacrifice is good, though. As Gibbs takes second base, she's down there with 1 out for Baker, the catcher, who's walked and struck out today. Unless we get a pinch, yeah, we're going to get a pinch hitter. Looks like Anaya Taylor, the sophomore, is going to bat for Baker. Now Taylor walks back over near the dugout, getting some final instructions by one of the assistant coaches.
I will say one thing that Wells is, pretty typically and standard that you see him do is use his roster. Whether they are pinch runners, just like Randy Johnson at Caravel, he uses his whole roster.
Taylor, a slapper, takes a strike. Marsh trying to battle back here this inning and not let that walk hurt her.
Cape's been pretty good at damage control in that regard today. Out of the 8 walks, only 1 has scored.
That misses low in the zone, a ball and a strike. Taylor at the plate. Ariana Gibbs, the junior, running at second base. Humpback liner. It's going to hop a couple of times. Late throw to first. I think they still just got her. No, the call is safe. So an infield single on a first and second. We had just 1 out here in the top of the 6th inning and now the top of the order.
And I know the runner got tied up with the shortstop. I'm surprised the runner didn't advance to third, but she was all tangled up with Calciano.
Yeah.
So she retreated back to second. But it doesn't really matter. It pays off because that runner is safe.
Lutz takes the ball, gets past the catcher. The runners will move up to third and second with just the 1 out and a 1-0 count on Lutz. Lutz has singled in 3 at-bats today and scored a run.
And I'll be interested to see now if this runner at third tries to take home on another wild pitch or not, how aggressive this runner will be.
Yeah.
They've been standing and waiting all game long.
That one's high. Good job by Hears to get out of her crouch and grab that pitch. 2-0 count.
And I'm sure that is in Marsh's head right now, that if she cranks one, you've got a runner, the winning run going.
Ground ball right back to Marsh. Throws to first. Look, the runner's back, and that's a big out right there. That was a hot shot. 2 outs in the inning now. Brings up Myers.
And Anaya Taylor came off second
Yeah.
really hard and ended up sliding like in a straddle position there. Had to get up and retreat to second.
Now here's Myers, who's walked twice and lined out to center. Takes low. 2-2 ball game here, top of the 6th inning.
But yeah, if Marsh doesn't field that and that goes up the gap, up the middle.
That's 2 runs.
It's 2 runs. So credit to Marsh for fielding her position there.
That's low and in the dirt. Good stop by Hears. 2-0 count. Once again, Marsh working from a hole here. There's a called strike. So 2-1 pitch.
Central's going to look to this senior leader here, try and get something done.
Well, she's already walked twice in 3 at-bats. She right now is a 3-1 count.
Kruger on deck.
Called strike. Full count. Runners at second and third. 2 outs here in the top of the 6th and a tie ball game.
Myers has to battle. Payoff pitch from Marsh.
That's low for ball 4. Bases are full for Kruger, who's walked, singled, and laid down a sac bunt. Marsh trying to get out of a jam. Sussex Central trying to answer after here's Homer tied the game. Ground ball, shortstop through the hole, run will score.
He's going to send her. They're going to try and score 2.
She went in standing up and she's out. But on the bases loaded single, Sussex Central responds and they regain the lead 3-2 as we head to the bottom of the 6th. Game was tied momentarily after a solo home run by Olivia Hears in the bottom of the 5th, but in the top of the 6th, Sussex Central loads the bases, and they get an RBI single to regain the lead. It's 3-2 heading to the bottom of the 6th inning here. Glenn Fraser alongside Shannon Timmons with Linda Marvel on camera. This is a Benny Mitchell production.
Yeah,
You're on 302 Sports.
Carly Kruger able to get that single through the 5-6 hole to go ahead and plate that go-ahead run for Central. So we will see if that will stand up and hold up today or not. Still some big Cape hitters coming to the plate that Tamora Hall will have to try to handle in Windish, then Mikulski and Bueller.
Windish has been on both at bats, Shannon. She's singled and reached on an error.
Yep, been stranded in those at bats.
She jumps ahead in the count on a low pitch. As the wind starts to pick up here again in Lewis. Line shot right at the right fielder. Michaela Eichenberry barely had to move. Came in one step to make the grab. Good swing, though, on that pitch by Windish. Out number 1 here in the bottom of the 6th. Brings up Olivia Mikulski.
With the 2 walks issued by Marsh in that inning, Glenn, she is up to 10 walks today. Came in the season with 13 total. So just really uncharacteristic for her today. And considering it's only a 3-2 game with those 10 walks, that's impressive. It says a lot about her team, you know, backing her up and playing defense behind her.
Yeah, fortunate to be down just 1 run.
Absolutely.
First pitch to Mikulski missed. She's ahead in the count 1-0. Mikulski is 0 for 2 today. Ground ball right to the shortstop. She mishandled a little bit and will not get Mikulski. She beats it out. So she's a 1-out base runner for Bueller.
Third error by Central today.
And just couldn't handle that little short stop. Short hop by the shortstop.
We've not seen that out of Lutz.
No.
She's been spot on so far this season.
Milena Bueller offered at a sac bunt attempt and missed. Milena today 0 for 2.
Won't be surprised to see her bunt again. Try to move that runner.
Takes low for a ball. With Mikulski's speed, I'm thinking that maybe they try to run her here. Let's see. Low pitch dug out nicely by Baker. And now Baker is going to go out of the circle and have a little discussion with Tamara Hall.
And every time she's done this so far, it's been after those low pitches miss and she comes back with a called strike. So we'll see.
Well, that would mean very productive mound visit by Baker.
It's worked so far today.
All right, 2-1 count on Bueller.
So here's his calling the game for Marsh today. And the coaching staff for Sussex Central is calling the game for Hall today.
There she goes. Low pitch. And she's in safely. Stolen base for Mikulski.
3-1 count now to Bueller. And we'll see if she doesn't try to bunt now to move her to third. Be smart on Cape's part to do that.
Swinging away, line drive to center. She tags, but she will not go. And that's the second out of the inning. And I tell you what, some really good swings by Cape Henlopen batters, line shots to the outfield, but right at fielders.
Absolutely. The ball that's been hit hard is a line drive, but the fielders just haven't had to move.
Now we're going to have a pinch batter here for Longo. Yes, Longo's going back in the dugout.
Should
and
be Eden
coming out as number
Frederick.
2.
Frederick, another lefty slapper, senior on this Cape roster.
And she's followed. Calciano is on deck. But with 2 outs here, Frederick will need to get on.
She was over here taking swings off the tee in between innings, warming up. So this was a plan made well ahead of time.
Takes a called strike. All trying to retire the number 9 batter.
Mikulski still at second.
Ground ball chopped. Third baseman picks it up on a couple of hops, fakes a third at first, tried to get the runner, and there is an infield single for Frederick, and that brings up Ava Calciano. Now, if you're coach with 2 outs, Coach Tack, do you send Mikulski on the first pitch? This will be interesting to see.
Well, in a situation like this, you see Coach Wells coming out. But in a situation like this, it's, everybody says this is a first and third. And honestly, you can't play both runners at the same time. You have to break this down and as a coach decide you're first or third. Who's more important to you, the runner at third or the runner at first? So in a situation like this, I would say Wells is going to have to pay more attention to that runner at third if he's going to keep this as a 3-2 game. You're going to have to be careful pitching to Calciano, obviously.
Yeah, she has walked twice and popped up to shortstop on an off-speed offering.
Correct.
From Tamara Hall. So a lot of conversations going on right now. The one in the circle for the Golden Knights just broken up. And now the base runners, Frederick back to first. Mikulski to third.
Frederick's got speed as well.
Yeah.
And he's going to intentionally walk Calciano again.
Okay, to get to Hears,
To
who
go to
last time
Hears.
homered.
He's going to play the odds that she won't homer twice in a row.
Big spot in the game here. Bottom of the 6th, bases loaded, 2 outs.
And the last time he did this, it paid off. He got Hears to pop up to the first baseman. So if he plays the odds, which is, you know, the gamble you take.
Emma Jackson, really deep out in center field. Ground ball, left side, through the hole. 1 run in. Frederick headed home. There will not be a throw, and Cape Henlopen regains the lead, or takes the lead for the first time today, 4-3. And here's with her 3rd RBI. She's responsible for knocking in 3 of the 4 runs. Two outs, and that brings up Hudson. Hudson has singled in 3 at-bats and then gone out unassisted to the first baseman twice.
So Calciano now stands at second. Hears now stands at first. Hudson at the plate. Cape up 4-3.
That missed low for a ball. The Vikings today scored a run in the 1st and then did not score again until the bottom of the 5th. But now they've scored 3 runs in the last 2 innings. Ground ball right to the short. She's going to go to 3rd, and she gets the out there to end the inning. But Cape Henlopen has taken the lead 4-3. We go to the top of the 7th. Can they get 3 outs and get their first win of their Golden Knights since 2019? We'll find out after this on 302 Sports.
Welcome to Surf Bagel.
Surf Bagel has served the community in Delaware for over 20 years, providing fresh, hot bagels, breakfast sandwiches, lunch sandwiches, wraps, salads, local coffee and smoothies, and our iconic merch. Welcome to Surf Bagel. We're stoked to serve you.
Welcome to Surf Bagel.
Cape Henlopen Vikings are 3 outs from getting this win here today in a comeback fashion and try to improve to 12-0 in the season and get a big win in the Henlopen North.
Yeah, and Mike Tack used a couple of different players there in that last inning. Pinch hitter Eden Frederick able to get on with an infield single. That slap hit to 3rd base that they just couldn't make a throw on, and set the tables with an intentional walk to Calciano, which loads the bases again for Olivia Hears. We saw that earlier in the game, and she wasn't able to convert, but that time she gets that base hit through the 5-6 hole to score 2 with the speedy Mikulski and Frederick on the bases.
Yeah.
So, you know, that's where their power and their speed work for them, and that's what makes Cape so dangerous in the lineup and with the options that Coach Tack has to put in. So we'll have to see what Sussex Central can come up with and see how much fight they have left in them here.
All right, little meeting in the circle by the infield of the Vikings. They now retreat to their defensive positions. And here's the second baseman, Brock, to lead it off here in the top of the 7th.
She's walked twice today, Glenn.
And she takes a ball 1.
And had that shot back to Abby Marsh that was able to be fielded and throw her out. 10 walks on the day for Marsh. Again, credit to her team that the score is what it is.
Got a called strike there to even the count at 1-1. Yeah, amazing that she's only walked 13 batters in 11 games coming in and walked 10 today. Ground ball, right back to Marsh. Easy play over to Hudson. There's out number 1. 1 out. That brings up Jackson, the center fielder. Jackson today has walked, struck out, and flied out to right.
Only 2 of those 10 walks have scored, Glenn, and that's
amazing.
Absolutely amazing.
It is. Swing and a miss on the first offering by Jackson. Well, if this holds up, I think there's no doubt that the catcher, Olivia Hears, is our player of the game.
I would agree.
Popped up and out of play. So Marsh does a good job getting ahead of Jackson here, 0-2.
Again, it's a completely different feeling as a pitcher to go out there and pitch with, you know, a couple of runs, and to be ahead, it's a good feeling to know that not every pitch is just so critical.
Ground ball right in the box. Old Calciano goes in the hole and throws over to Hudson for out number 2. Calciano has made every play today. 2 gone here. And now the Golden Knights down to their final out, and Eikenberry, the right fielder, who has walked in 3 at-bats. Shannon, this is really not unlike the game that we saw Central play with Lake on Thursday. They led pretty much the whole game till right at the end.
We'll call that the curse of a young team. They have to learn how to finish. It's one of the things that Coach Wells said to us. You know, they have to learn how to finish.
First pitch was down for a ball, and that missed for 2-0 count.
Again, they had some opportunities to score. They had runners on third. They had some wild pitches, and they did not take the advantage to advance and score. And so, you know, you come down to a 1-run ball game, and you look back, and that's definitely a place you have to kind of go, well, you know, you have to get a little more aggressive on the bases.
2-0 pitch. That missed for ball 3, and what you really don't want to do is to walk somebody here in the top of the 7th and put that tie-in run on base. Make them earn it. There's a called strike. 3-1 on Eikenberry. Copes, the designated player, is on deck if Eikenberry can reach. And that missed for ball 4. I don't want to keep harping on it, but that's the 11th walk issued in this game. A 2-out base runner. And now discussion again by head coach John Wells with the home plate umpire. He's going to get a, what's he going to do here? A pinch runner? Yeah, I see somebody putting on a helmet.
Schwartz again for
Eikenberry.
Schwartz for Eikenberry.
All right. She's the pinch runner. Copes is up 0 for 2. She walked her last at bat and then was thrown out at the plate on a play from the outfield.
Gibbs, her pinch runner, was thrown out.
That's right. Excuse me.
That's okay. She had a nice hit to center field in the 4th.
First pitch, a called strike.
Wells reminding her to lay off the high pitch. Find something she can drive.
Right at the bottom of the zone, that missed. 1-1 count. I'm wondering if you risk a stolen base attempt here. I know you don't want to get thrown out on the bases of the final out of the game.
You don't want to run yourself out.
There's a pop-up in the infield. Calciano calls. She makes the catch. And coming from behind to win, the Cape Henlopen Vikings 4-3. First win over Sussex Central for Cape since 2019 when my broadcast partner was the head coach here. That was a 14-13 win. All right, we'll be back with a post-game show right after this on 302 Sports.
Looking to stay cool this summer?
At Barclay Heating and Air, we're dedicated to keeping your home comfortable year-round.
Family owned and operated, we provide trusted residential heating and cooling services to customers across Central Delaware. Our experienced technicians offer reliable maintenance and repairs on all major brand HVAC systems. From air conditioners and ductless systems to heat pumps and furnaces, we also sell and install top quality units. No matter your needs, we're committed to getting the job done right with honest and timely service you can count on. Invested in our community, we're proud to help families in more ways than one, sponsoring and donating to many local programs and organizations throughout the area. For dependable HVAC services, give us a shout or a bark at Barkley Heating and Air.
Congratulations, Dover Federal, on 60 years in business in Delaware. You've been by our side since our doors opened.
Thank you so much for giving me a call on so many years ago when I had no credit.
You helped our business grow into what it is today.
As a military family, thank you for supporting the financial needs of servicemen and their loved ones.
Happy anniversary, Dover Federal Credit Union.
Happy anniversary, Dover Federal.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Local people, local decisions, Dover Federal Credit Union.
I would always pass by Ferris on Kirkwood Highway, so I knew that they existed. We stopped in the showroom. We just clicked, like from day one. They did a total kitchen renovation for us. Ferris was so organized. They were on top of everything from day one. Always here when they said they would be, always on time, kept to the schedule. The level of comfort speaking to everyone that works at Ferris, they were just super friendly, easy to talk to. It was like they were friends, not, people coming to work on our kitchen. The room is totally transformed from what it used to look like. To have all this seating now and the big table, the bench seats, it's great. I love coming home and just walking through the laundry room into the kitchen every day. It was just a great experience. We love Ferris.
Welcome to Surf Bagel.
Surf Bagel has served the community in Delaware for over 20 years, providing fresh, hot bagels, breakfast sandwiches, lunch sandwiches, wraps, salads, local coffee and smoothies, and our iconic merch. Welcome to Surf Bagel. We're stoked to serve you.
Welcome to Surf Bagel.
In life, some things just go together, like a burger and fries, and home and auto insurance from State Farm. So make it a combo. Combining your home and auto insurance could save you time and money, and who doesn't like that? Just call State Farm agent Juwan Johnson and find out how you could start saving today. It's just another way we're here to help life go right.
Looking to stay cool this summer?
At Barkley Heating and Air, we're dedicated to keeping your home comfortable year-round.
Family owned and operated, we provide trusted residential heating and cooling services to customers across central Delaware. Our experienced technicians offer reliable maintenance and repairs on all major brand HVAC systems. From air conditioners and ductless systems to heat pumps and furnaces, we also sell and install top quality units. No matter your needs, we're committed to getting the job done right with honest and timely service you can count on. Invested in our community, we're proud to help families in more ways than one, sponsoring and donating to many local programs and organizations throughout the area. For dependable HVAC services, give us a shout or a bark at Barkley Heating and Air.
Congratulations, Dover Federal, on 60 years in business in Delaware. You've been by our side since our doors opened.
All right, welcome back to Cape Henlopen High School. We are here with Olivia Heers, the catcher from the victorious Cape Henlopen team, 4-3 over Sussex Central today. Olivia had 2 hits, one of those being a game-tying home run, and 3 RBIs on the day. So, Liv, just talk to us a little bit about how you felt going up to the plate there when you're down by a run and you know that if you put something out there, you're going to tie the game.
Honestly, I was just thinking bat on ball, and then I was like, I got my teammates behind me. No matter what I do, they're going to hit the ball after me, so I was comfortable.
And as you come up again at the plate in the 6th inning with the opportunity to put your team in the lead and go ahead for the win, tell me what your thought process is there and how Hall had been pitching you throughout the day today.
Well, in my head, I was like, I've been getting I only saw like 4 pitches my first couple at bats, so I was like, get deep in the count, deep in the count, and then again, I knew I had Abby behind me, Hayden, and I was like, they're gonna hit, I'm gonna hit, so just put a bat on ball.
Well, congratulations, Liv. You are the player of the game today, tying the game with a home run and then having the 2 RBIs to go ahead and send you guys 4-3 to beat Sussex Central for the first time since 2019. So congratulations.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right, that is Olivia Heers, catcher for Cape Henlopen, and our 302 Sports Player of the Game. As we recap here, Cape victorious over Sussex Central 4-3. Glenn, any last-minute thoughts here as we close out today?
Well, I kind of wonder what Olivia Heers was thinking after she popped up with the bases loaded the last time she came up to bat, where they walked Ava to get to her. But you heard what she said. That was a key hit in the game for them. And, again, first win for the Vikings over the Golden Knights since 2019. So the first time Olivia Heers and her fellow seniors had a chance to celebrate that win. Big win in the Henlopen North for them. And one of the assistant coaches told me when I went out there to get Olivia, he said, that's just a team that's had some hard luck. Sussex Central, they're playing good ball. They're losing to really good competition. We saw it against Lake Forest. They beat Stephen Decatur. They lost to Appo 1-0 late in the game. So they're hanging around. They just can't get over the hump.
They are. And they're young, and they tend to get out to a lead. And like we said earlier, they just have to learn how to finish their softball games, right? Hall's doing a great job in the circle. I just want to run down some stats for Abby Marsh today as the winning pitcher. She's going to be 12-0, 11 walks. She had 13 on the season coming up till today, 4 strikeouts, gave up 3 hits. And again, just really, really surprised, and a credit to the Cape defense that with the 11 walks that the game was so close and ended up 4-3. But credit to Sussex Central, man. They just keep hanging there and they keep fighting. And Hall's throwing really well right now. They just have to figure out how to get up over that hump, like you said, and they just have to keep playing softball. So certainly not down and out for them. And my message to them would be just keep playing ball.
Second-ranked Cape Henlopen, now 12-0. Big game coming up against number 4 Caravel, who was 9-1 going into today. That comes up on Saturday right back here at Cape Henlopen High. We'll keep an eye on that. Thanks to both coaches, Mike Tack and John Wells, along with the athletic director, Kevin Smith, and the staff here at Cape for providing accommodations for us out here in left field. For Linda Marvel, our camera operator, and for Shannon Timmons, my color analyst, this is Glenn Fraser signing off. Final once again, 4-3. Cape comes from behind to knock off Sussex Central. Thanks for watching this live stream on 302 Sports. This has been a Benny Mitchell production.